everyone, Anne Spencer here and welcome to the Wellbeing Channel, Living Well. Yeah, I know it's vast and it's not always easy. Two small words there, yeah, but so many relative subjects to help us live fabulous, as we should be. And that's what I do, remind you and me of the power and the potential for real good living in the days of our lives. And of course, for the flippin' joy and the fun of being human. It's quite simple really, it's win-win situation. The subject today is quite simple, neuroplasticity. Has anyone heard of that? And maybe you have, and maybe you're thinking, neuroscience? I ain't into that, man. But listen up. When I read, just the basics I might add, I was really quite excited for my own brain. You know, in fact, I'm hooked now to all this subject. And at my age, well, any age, in fact, the earlier you start this, the better, guys. But at 59, for me, I want that longevity for my head. Now, previously, I spoke about the importance of downtime and, you know, recharging, preferably with a hobby or two. Well, not through your working hours, of course, but just taking that you time. And it's trying to have a more creative approach to even just taking your coffee, you know. A bit like Poirot, you know, the French detective, when he strategically places his coffee cup before he actually brings the cup up to his mouth. Savour it, in other words. Take your coffee break to the new heights. And your food. You know, become a foodie snob, yeah. Be a little pretentious, why not? Maybe it is, but let's not forget the journey is just as important as the end result, the end product. It's quite a lagom approach, I think, to food snobbery, that, isn't it, if you ask me? Food, drink or whatever. And that's what I talked about, the lagom, that's the Swedish way, which basically means not too little, not too much, but just the right amount. You know, just the right amount. And making it a more sociable experience. But if there's nobody around and nobody to talk to, then make it a more personal social experience. Get into yourself, so to speak. Sounds good, that. You know, I'm actually, just changing the subject quickly, I'm nearly a vegan, what's the correct word there? I think you can say any, I don't know, depends which country you're from. But I've eaten so many vegetarian dishes that meat has suddenly seemed superfluous to me, to be honest. I don't know if it's just by accident that I've been eating this way, but all those food blogs and vlogs right now, I mean, and all these wonderful recipes that you see, I've just got so tempted into trying them all and drinking elderflower cordial, I think it is. Well, I'm not quite making it yet. I think some people make it, but it does make you feel so invigorated. You know, it gives me a sort of physical feeling of energy. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you. Anyway, sorry. Back to neuroplasticity. Get your manifestations here, and all those thoughts and that positivity. You know, I mean, if you've heard of learning something new, well, mastering something is more important. That's it. Learning it, teaching it, mastering it. Sometimes when you teach it, you can master it. That's the point. You will benefit health-wise. And let's face it, if you want to look after your brain, like I do, listen up. Neuroplasticity. Okay? In simple terms, the brain is plastic throughout our life. You know, like plasticine can be moulded. And it's constantly changing then. And those changes are associated with learning. You know, like, so find a passion, find something you love. And they only occur mostly at the level of those connections between neurons, if that makes sense. Basically, those new neurons are constantly being born again, and especially in the learning and the memory sensors. So when you become an expert in a specific area or practice, field, domain, whatever it is, the areas in your brain that deal with that type of skill will grow. They generate. How good is that? Hence, even by example of lifelong learning, which I try to continue with, this is, to me anyway, a necessity as well as an enjoyment, isn't it? Has to be. So it's the formation of new brain cells. How good is that? Called neurogenesis. Nothing to do with Phil Collins. But for a long, long time, it's only been said that our brains do not generate any new cells. So this neuroplasticity is saying differently. That's good news. I love that news. And you know, proved again, I might add, that even looking for something to be grateful for is a positivity that produces good neural pathways. Good neural pathways, eh? I like the sound of that. There are always limits, but we can develop our self-creating. Well, we are. We're always developing. We're always changing right through our life. So you may as well get those positive habits. They go a long way. You know, there's a guy called Paul Brooks. I won't go too much into him. There's always a guy. But he's suggesting we are a collection of our parts, not a being put within those parts. So I reckon it's important to get those positive parts working for us to work really well. Well, that's just me putting my own words into sentences here, but you get, it's very interesting. Another subject for another day, perhaps. Well, that's it then. That's all I wanted to share with you today. And if you fancy more motives, more of the same, Lagom time or otherwise, click subscribe button and don't miss out. Listen, we all know, you know those little habits you need to chip away at, just slow but surely, the ones that don't serve you. And when you do, that paradigm shift will happen. Thanks for listening, guys. Join me next time. Bye for now.